B'Shem Hashem Naseh V'Nasteach. Welcome to Tora. B'Ezrat Hashem. Tonight we are studying a special, exciting class on the topics that every Bar Mitzvah boy needs to know, and about Bar Mitzvah. Preparing before Bar Mitzvah, going to Bar Mitzvah, and on. It's a very good sefer. It's more of a Chassidut sefer, but applies to any Yehudi. This sefer has been recommended to me by Harav Ezra Duek Shlita. It's a very practical sefer, to the point, and even though that is more of a Chassidut, but still applies to us. So we start. The sefer is called Yemei HaBachrut Bar Mitzvah, and we start with the Hakdama Be'ezrat Hashem. בעזרת השם יתברך, אודה השם בכל לבב בסוד ישרים וידע על כל הטוב אשר כמולני שיזכרני להוסיף לאור עולם מחדש את הספר ימי הבחרות ובר מצווה. תכלית הספר כשמו כן הוא לחורות לסירי קודשים בחורי חמד היקרים. So as the author is writing over here, that he is very thankful that this sefer came out with the help of Hashem, and the purpose of this sefer is to prepare a person who is becoming Bar Mitzvah. All the Bachurei Hayakar, that which they need to know, they are come al derech hayashar v'tov, the ways and the straight ways and the good, becoming good. V'kabelu al asmam all malchut shamayim, of how to accept the yoke of Hashem, the avoto and Hashem's love and irah, His fear. V'yichvu b'nafsham chamdat Torah, and to how to instill in their soul the love of the Torah. V'noam avodah shebalev zo tefillah, and the avodat alev, which is tefillah, how to prepare to become a serious Baal Tefillah, somebody who knows how to pray, reach out to Hashem. Unfortunately, these days, especially among our circle, many people, many Bachurim also, they do things out of habit. They get used to it. You tell them, why are you shuckling? Everyone is shuckling, everyone is moving. Oh, it says in the Halakha, the Sephardi, it says Harav Yitzhagh Yosef, in the name of Harav Ovadia Yosef Alav Hashanah, that the Sephardi should not be shuckling, should not be going back and forth when he's praying, right? But in the Yeshivot Ashkenazi, they do shuckle. So Harav Yitzhagh Yosef Shlita, he comes with this heter. If it helps you in Kavanah, then shuckle. Right? Then move back and forth. If not, it's better not to be shuckling. You're in front of Hashem, and you're moving back and forth, right? Going in front of a king. Imagine you're going in front of the president, and you're going back and forth. It's not appropriate. What's wrong with you? Right? So it's only when it's really going to help your kavanah, then shakel. We have to understand what Hashem expects from us. What is the right thing to do, and not just what everyone else is doing. Not just the peer pressure. What is the real tikkun hamidot? Tikkun hamidot, working on your midor, on your characteristics, behavior. That which you need to know Musa for the all life, for the whole life, not just for now. להיות קשור בעבודתו יתברך בקשר אמין אמיס וחזק שלו ינותק ממנו, in a way that you have this connection that is not going to break, is unbreakable, some sort of a connection that you need to build. It's like the building, you build the foundation. If you want to have a high rise, you need to have a very strong foundation. You need to really go deep down. You need to get the sample from the soil and see if it can hold it. Certain places cannot hold very tall buildings. Right? You need to see. You need to prepare. If the soil is not good, they bring a different soil, or they change the soil. They don't use the soil. They have to put special cement. They have to come up with these calculations, right? Of what material should be used as the poles. תוכן הספר, וגם אלו הקטעים שלא יוען מקורם גם הם ממקום קדוש שהנבראו עולם להיותם מרובסים. כמה ספרים. This sefer has been gathered together from many other ספרים. ביחד לכן מן הנמנע היה לציין מקורם. And wherever it is appropriate, it's mentioned where it's brought from to help us to go in deep into it, to go open the other sefarim and see the actual source. עלינו להודיע שאין הספר בא לרשת מקומם של ספרי המוסר אשר מחבריהם היו קדושי עליון. Now, this sefer is not coming to replace other ספרי מוסר or other חינוך ספרים. This is the אחרון ספר. מסילת ישרים, דרך השם, all those other חובת הלבבות, חובת התלמידים, all those ספרים, they're very much respected and they need to be studied. This sefer is like a summary of many sefarim put together in a very precise and practical, as the Mechaber is writing. וכל דבריהם הם ככלי אש, המעלבים את הנפש לאהבת השם יתברך. This sefer is like charcoal, right? It's like charcoal that is hot and is going to warm you up to go and see the actual source, to have love of Hashem, to fear of Hashem. So it goes on to say, right, that this sefer, right, needs to be studied, needs to be asked. I'm going now to the Hakdama a little bit faster to get to the actual sefer, right? It goes on to explain that it has different chapters. It builds you up, right? עלינו להבהיר שאם היות הספר הכנה בר מצווה עם כל זה אינו נועד לגיל הבר מצווה בלבד. This sefer is not, even though that it's called bar mitzvah, is not only for somebody that is bar mitzvah. No, before bar mitzvah, after bar mitzvah, it is all applicable. It is all coming to prepare you. As they say in English, prevention is better than cure. So this is going to prevent a bar mitzvah boy becoming, a chote, becoming distance from Hashem. It's preparing you, right? והאמיתו של דבר גם באים בשנים אשר אין דעתם ושעתם פנויה לעסוק בספרי המוסר והערוכה יכולים להשיג תועלת. Now there's a certain age that sometimes a person really doesn't have the koach to go sit down and go from Sefer Mesilat Yesharim chapter by chapter. So this Sefer is like precise, comes to help you, especially those who don't have the time, right? So then it concludes that ונזכה ונחיה ונדרש טובה וברכה לשני ימות המשיח. May Hashem help us to be zoche, to merit the days of Mashiach and to merit the chaye olam haba. B'mehera b'yameinu amen. Obviously, right, Hashem should help us that with this sefer we should prepare ourselves for coming of Mashiach. B'mehera b'yameinu amen. Now the first chapter, Sha'ar Rishon, it talks about the bar mitzvah peticha. Ita b'Masechet Avot. It is brought in Masechet Avot, Perek Hey, that's chapter 5, Mishnah Chaf Aleph, 21. Ben Shalosh Esther Misvot Perush. That the person who becomes 13 years old, right, he accepts the covenant of mitzvot, commandments, שמגיע האדם לשלוש 10 שנה, הוא מתחייב בכל מצוות התורה הקדושה, ומאז נעשה איש גדול. From 13 years old and above, a man is obligated to observe all the mitzvot in the Torah, right? And that time he is a big man. All of a sudden, there is a transition. From Khatan, Zehachatan, Gadol Yeh. All of a sudden is a Gadol, right? And it's called Ish. וכמו פירוש הבתנורה, the פירוש בתנורה explains, בין 13 למצוות דכתיב, it comes to explain from במדבר, איש או אישה כי יעשו מכל חטאות האדם, that ish, man or woman, that does any khatat adam, לגבי קורבן חטא, we have to see what that means, or chet, sin offering, לגבי שכם דכתיב, and by שכם it says, ויקחו שני בני יעקב, שמעון ולוי, אחי דינה, איש חרבו, that two of Yaakov Avinu's sons, Shimon and Levi, as we know the story there, that Hamor came after Dinah, and Hamor unfortunately took Dinah and had relations and caused this whole story of Shimon and Levi going and killing the whole town, including the person who abused Dinah. So over there refers to Shimon and Levi as Ish Charbo, the man of sword. ולוי באותו פרק, how old was Levi, Shimon Levi? Levi was 13 years old. 13 שנה היה. הוא קרא לב איש. And it's called, Levi was called Ish, he was 13 years old. וכן מובא בסנהדרין, and also is brought in מסכת סנהדרין, כשעשה בסלל את המשכן היה בן 13. When Bezalel built the Mishkan, the tabernacle, the place of dwelling of Hashem, he was 13 years old. יליף למכתיב איש איש ומלאכתו. And from here we come to make a comparison. That by Shimon and Levi was 13. Right? By Bezalel, who built the tabernacle Mishkan, he was 13. And they were both called Ish. So there is a nekuda, there is a very alarming, right, awakening point, which is the age 13 is the deal breaker, is a special age, is the transition, something that happens all of a sudden by bar mitzvah. והוא על פי מה שפירש רש"י, as Rashi explains, וזה לשונו, Rashi says like this, איש הווה מבין 13 שנה ולא בפחות. That ish refers to a person who is 13 years old, man, 13 years old and above. Right? In our language, teenager that becomes 13 years old is not a teenager, is a man. שלא מסינו בכל התורה שיהיה קרוי איש בפחות מבין 13. אבל מבין י"ג מסינו שקראו הכתוב איש. The only time that we see Torah referring to a boy, man, is after the age of 13. So that comes to remind us, it's not just made up age, no. There is something in the neshama that is happening, making the boy to transit from Atan to Gadol, from little boy to Ish. דכתיב ויחול שני בני יעקב שמעון ולוי איש חרבו וגמירי שמעון ולוי והאיש שעתה בני י"ג שנה חווי. That both were 13 years old. והרוסה לחשוב יסר ויחשוב. If you want, you could even go delve into this much more. ויין בתוספות, go look at תוספות תוספות יום טוב in מסכת אבות. Over there explains שמבאר שם explains over there חשבון איך שבני יעקב היו אז בני י"ג שנה. תוספות יום טוב explains how Shimon and Levi were 13 years old. וכן מובא במדרש, also explains in מדרש, שכל טוב. איש חרבו זה לימוד של בניין אב. לכל מקום שנאמר איש במקרא, ואמר רבי שמעון בן אלעזר, כל מי שנאמר בו איש, אינו פחות מ-13 שנה. שהרי לוי בן י"ג שנה ויום אחד היה עד כאן משונה. That over there is another source from Midrash Sechel Tov, right? That over there brings in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Elazar, that whenever the Torah says Ish, that refers to a man over the age of 13. Omnam, however, Harav be'emet le'yikare b'Torah Ish eino ella mi she'eino bo yirat shamayim. Really, it would be fit. It would have been better to say Ish is somebody who has fear of Hashem, right? Fear of Hashem. Yirat shamayim. Kemo shenemar David lishlomo beno. As we find that David HaMelech tells to his son Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon, in Melachim, וחזקת והיית לאיש, right? חזקת, right? Go make yourself chazak, right? Strength, spiritual strength, right? He gained spiritual strength. והיית, and he became איש. ומפרש התרגום ותהי לגבר דחיל חטאים. It over there explains that he became a giver, somebody who was in a maturity, who understood the cause and the effect, and what would be the result of chataim. Chataim, the sins of a person, right? Another words, perush yerechet. He became yerechet. So David HaMelech refers to Ish as somebody who had fear of Hashem. So this is contradictory to that which we say on Ish, that merely by becoming 13 years old, you are all of a sudden Ish. Doesn't say you need to be God-fearing person. How come it doesn't say like that? Hare mevuar mikol elu המאמרים שביום שנעשה הילד בן 13 שנה נחשב לאיש ככל האנשים המיוחדים במשפט השם, המיוחדים במשפט השם. But we have many sources that somebody who becomes bar mitzvah, all of a sudden he's ish, like anybody, he's mechuyav in the mitzvot, he's a mature person, is considered mature even without having fear of Hashem. ולמען ידע הבכור הבר המצווה מעלה וקדושת יום הזה שבו מצליחים להיות איש. So a bar mitzvah boy, he needs to really comprehend, understand, right, and get himself into the mood of his ish. He's not just merely another teenager who is having a bar mitzvah birthday boy, right? He's not just a birthday boy. So we have to understand Be'ezrat Hashem, according to Chazal and Sefarim, what is with the Godel Ma'alot Ve'inyan HaBar Mitzvah? What is the greatness of Bar Mitzvah? What happens on this crucial time, right? At the moment that he becomes 13 years old, that now he is Ish. וכן במקום שהביאו הזוהר הקדוש. And that which Zohar HaKadosh talks about it, בנו תוכן העניין בלשון הקודש כדי שכל בחור בר מצווה יבין אותו. Now we have to explain in a way that בר מצווה boy can understand. ומכיוון שביום הזה הבחור מתחיל מחדש לעבוד עבודת השם. Think about this. All of a sudden, as we're going to go weiter see, that before 13 years old, the boy has only Yeser Harav, evil inclination, no Yeser Tov. All of a sudden, boop, right? Hachi Machi Yataji, as they say in Farsi, right? Right? Something happens. מכיוון שביום הזה הבחור מתחיל מחדש לעבודת השם, he is studying from the beginning a new service of Hashem. Now, although he saw his father, he saw his Rebbe, he saw all of that, we're getting to the end of this chapter, right? That what he saw it, but he never experienced it. This is the first time he's becoming Oved Hashem, in a sense with Yeser Tov. לכן לקטנו גם איזה הנהגות טובות ומידות ישרות אמרות טהורות אשר ראו לאדם להתנהג בהם בימי חייו. וכדי שהבחור יתעורר מעתה, as we explain, he has to understand, he needs to learn, he needs to prepare himself. Not like many of these bar mitzvah boys, right? Their father is proud that he got somebody to teach the son how to read Torah. And he got him a tefillin, that's all. That's not enough. That's a joke, right? That bar mitzvah boy will not remember how to read the Torah the week after bar mitzvah, right? Right? If the father did not spend time in teaching Torah, wouldn't even care to put on the tefillin, right? And we see, unfortunately, many of our holy brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, that they really try, but what they do is not enough. A bar mitzvah teacher is not just teaching the Torah, how to read from Torah to make people, proud of your son. No, it's a whole big deal. You need to teach him Mishnah, Gemara, Halacha, Mitzvot. It's just the beginning of the blessings, right? And tefillin is just a reminder. לקבל עליו עול חדש, he needs to understand now, he has to accept a new yoke, right? New responsibility. כי יום הזה הוא שעת הקשר להתחיל. הקשר, this is the time for connection. This is the beginning of the everlasting connection. לעולמי עולמים. Right? From this life to the world to come. For many generations to continue. To be avodat Hashem in a truthful way. והעיקר, and the main thing is, שצריך לבקש מהשם יתברך בכל לשון של בקשה. In whatever language you can comprehend and understand, can connect you to Hashem, beseech and ask Hashem, שנזכה לעובדו באמת בלב טהור. Hashem, please, merit my son, give me the zechut to bring my son to be your true Eved, servant. To have haslacha gidola, to be avodat bore, to bore olam, to Almighty Hashem, Yad Shamayim, שנזכה לעשות נחת רוח הבורא יתברך שמו. Not to make you, the father or the mother, proud. No, that's not the purpose. Obviously, if you become proud of your child, that's great. But your Hashem, Almighty Hashem, is to be proud of him, proud of that child. So you need to learn Torah to know how to make your son proud of Hashem, that Hashem is proud of him. ולזכות בקרוב לקבל פני משיח צפרנו במהרה בימינו, Amen. The purpose of raising children is that they should become fit to accept Mashiach, to await for Mashiach, to be fit to be in the generation that Mashiach will come. Be'ezrat Hashem b'mehera b'yameinu. Amen. Thank you so much for joining.